Opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The U.S. Embassy in Nassau says the Bahamas not being targeted by the U.S. over concerns of a Cuban work program. The SpaceX recovery team has left the Bahamas, and the Way Forward Valley Boys claim the Valley Boy name after a court ruling. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll talk with Everybody Wins about their major Cybertruck promotion and a big concert coming up. And later, it's our monthly series with Brit. And we're talking about wine and also what impact tariffs might have on your favorite bottle. And a whole lot more. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, U.S. Charge d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish says that the United States is not targeting the Bahamas in a new visa policy, but is trying to resolve a human rights issue regarding Cuban medical professionals. Furnish's comments coming after the U.S. said it would revoke visas of foreign officials involved in the Cuban medical program. Speaking yesterday during a tour of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Lawrence Lawson's ship at Nassau Cruise Port, Furnish saying the Bahamas was not a part of this, saying, quote, "This went to every embassy in the world. The Cuban medical program is something that we are concerned about. There have been some human rights issues within that program. We are not aware of any of that happening in the Bahamas. It is simply the opening of a discussion about the program." U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently announced visa sanctions against governments who are part of Cuba's overseas medical missions. Rubio described Cuba's overseas medical program as forced labor and said the new U.S. policy will go after government officials who are responsible for or involved in the Cuban labor export program. Furnish says there is no need to be alarmed by the new policy, as it is an open discussion. Nearly 2 weeks after SpaceX Starship rocket exploded over the Bahamas, Department of Environmental Planning and Protection Director Dr. Rhiannon Neely says that the SpaceX team has left the country after modeling revealed the engine is likely in deep water. She's saying while the search isn't quite concluded, some of their modeling has come back with a high confidence rate that the engine is in deep waters and probably irretrievable. She says, quote, "We're still asking people to call in reference to the smaller debris, but the chances that we will recover any large, heavy pieces are slim to none." That rocket, which came apart shortly after its launch from Starbase in Boca Chica, Texas, earlier this month, scattered debris across the country and raised concern about the public, from the Bahamian public, over the possible environmental impact. In the latest legal development affecting the two factions of the Valley Boys Junkanoo group, a Supreme Court judge lifting an injunction that had prevented the world-famous Valley Boys from being struck from the register of non-profit organizations. The breakaway group known as the Way Forward Valley Boys, which is led by Trevor Davis, quickly claimed this as a victory, with Davis stating it confirms that his group has the right to the Valley Boys name. However, the world-famous Valley Boys, led by Brian Adderley, said the court did not order or direct it to find a new name, saying, quote, "This ruling does not affect our continued existence as a legally recognized entity, duly registered with the government. We are also officially registered with the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation in Providence, and are in full preparation for the upcoming Junkanoo season." A man sentenced to 6 months in prison for child cruelty after he admitted to beating his girlfriend's son with a broomstick. 22-year-old Ricardo Fox gasped and covered his face in his hands after Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogue Evans handed down her sentence. His mother, who was seated in court, shouted, quote, "I tell you, leave that woman child alone." She was asked to leave the court after a second outburst. She said that social services needed to take the boy from his mother. Fox pleaded guilty to a charge of cruelty to children at his arraignment. The charge stemmed from the March 16th incident where he disciplined his girlfriend's 7-year-old son for breaking his television. The prosecutor told the court that the child's grandmother was at her home off Carmichael Road when she heard him screaming. The grandmother went next door to the home where the child lives with his 23-year-old mother, and she met Fox beating the child with a broomstick. And jurors watching a video of a police interview of a man accused of robbing a member of parliament and his wife outside their home. Brenville Hanna, who is on bail, is on trial for armed robbery and possession of ammunition before Justice Neil Brathwaite. Prosecutors allege that on August 13th, 2021, Hanna ordered Reuben Ramming out of his car at gunpoint and robbed him of cash, cell phone, and watch. While Ramming was on the ground, his wife Natasha pulled up. She was robbed of her Coach handbag and cash. At the time of the incident, Ramming was the FNM MP for the Pinewood constituency. Later that day, police stopped Hanna's Nissan Note at COVID-19 curfew roadblock on Soldier Road and Burnett Road. While searching his car, the officers found a round of .40 caliber ammunition. Police allegedly found Mrs. Ramming's handbag in front of Hanna's apartment on Hanna Road. Hanna replied no comment to questions posed by the investigator. Overseas, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky saying today that a vow by Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin not to attack energy infrastructure was, quote, very much at odds with reality, following an overnight barrage of drone strikes across the country. Zelensky said he would speak with U.S. President Donald Trump later in the day, hear more about the American leader's phone call with Putin about a ceasefire and to discuss the next steps to be taken. Zelensky saying it at a news conference in Helsinki with the Finnish president, quote, even last night after Putin's conversation with Trump, when Putin said that he was allegedly giving orders to stop strikes on Ukrainian energy, there were 150 drones launched overnight, including on energy facilities. The strikes, which hit civilian areas and damaged a hospital, followed Putin's refusal to back a 30-day ceasefire during discussions with Trump. Meanwhile, the White House described the call between Trump and Putin as the first step in a movement to peace that Washington hopes will include a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea and eventually a full and lasting end to the fighting. And the leader of a far-right party today returned to Israel's government as national security minister after he carried out a wave of heavy strikes that killed over 400 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Itamar Ben-Gvir had left Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition in January to protest the ceasefire with Hamas, which was shattered by Israel's bombardment on Tuesday. Netanyahu said the attack was only the beginning and that Israel would press ahead until it achieves all of its war aims, destroying Hamas and freeing all hostages held by the militant group since the October 7, 2023 attack on Israel ignited the fighting. Gaza's health ministry saying that the strikes killed at least 409 people, including 173 children and 88 women. Meanwhile, Lebanon state news agency saying a UN peacekeeper was wounded when a mine exploded in the country's south. In sports, Alexandra Komalafi and Taryn Beckles are a couple of the athletes who are on track for the Grifter Games. Both have qualified in their respective events and are in the process of fine-tuning their training as they get closer to the Bahamas National High School Track and Field Championships. Komalafi, who competes for Queens College and the Comets, has matched the Grifter qualifying height of 1.63 meters in the under-17 girls high jump. She's come close to qualifying in the under-17 girls 400 meters as well, running a personal best time of 57.34 seconds at BAISS Track and Field Championships earlier this month. Beckles has qualified in the under-17 boys long jump event. He'll compete with the high school Track and Field Championships in 2 weeks' time. Bahamian professional basketball player with the goal could be on the move again this summer. Hield, who's playing with his fourth franchise in the last 4 years, is having another productive year in the NBA. The veteran shooting guard for the Warriors is averaging 11.3 points, primarily off the bench, while shooting 41.5% from the field and 36.5% from the three-point range. He's helped the Warriors creep into sixth spot in the Western Conference of the NBA, with a 39-29 win-loss record as of Monday night. But there are reports that the Warriors could move Hield. There's more on this story in today's Guardian Sports section. And from college basketball, R.J. Davis and his North Carolina teammates looking as though they belong to the NCAA tournament Tuesday night. Davis scored 26 points and shot 6 for 6 from three-point range to help the Tar Heels silence some skeptics with a dominant 95-68 victory over San Diego State in their first four matchup. UNC was a controversial NCAA selection on Sunday, but the Tar Heels played like a team with something to prove. North Carolina shot 61% in the first half and went 7 on 9 from three-point range. It seemed like a long shot to make the tournament with a 1-12 record in Quadrant 1 games, but was chosen Sunday thanks to a strong non-conference schedule and other metrics. San Diego State led the nation in field goal percentage defense, but had no answer for the Tar Heels. It was the most points the Aztecs allowed all season. The previous high was 80 in a loss to the then number 3 Gonzaga on November 18th. And Alabama State getting win over St. Francis 70-64 in the other first four matchup. From the Major League Baseball opening day, Chicago Cubs fans taking pride in being underdogs, a role that ended briefly when they won the World Series in 2016 to end a 107-year drought between championships. But they're right at home in Tokyo facing the Los Angeles Dodgers and megastar Shohei Ohtani in a 2-game series to open the Major League Baseball regular season. Dodgers fans outnumber the Cubs fans in the Tokyo Dome, though. The Cubs have 2 Japanese players who don't go unnoticed, but they're still attracting the attention of Ohtani. The Cubs dropped the first game 4-1 Tuesday. We'll see what happens in Game 2. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a strong ridge accompanied by a dry air mass over the country that's going to promote sunny skies and mild temperatures. That'll continue through tonight. Meanwhile, a deep Atlantic low continues to generate hazardous boating and beaching conditions, especially along Atlantic coastlines. Smallcraft advisories in effect for all Atlantic waters, and smallcraft operators are strongly advised to remain in port and not enter Atlantic waters. Sea swells are going to continue across the country through Friday. And while conditions on land will remain pleasantly quiet for another day or so, we've got a cold front that's going to be moving through by early Friday morning. That front's expected to drift across the country and eventually stall near the southeast Bahamas by Saturday with a few light showers along the frontal boundary. High pressure is going to build behind that, and another wave of cooler temperatures will follow towards the end of the week into the beginning of next week. So beachgoers again encouraged to remain on shore as there's likely to be rough surf and a high risk of rip currents. Motorists along coastal roadways should also exercise caution, especially in Eleuthera near the Glass Window Bridge. For today, for most of the country, we're looking at mostly sunny and mild conditions, becoming fair and cool tonight. Milder across the central and southeast Bahamas. Less than a 10% chance of showers. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs in the northern and northwest Bahamas near 76, 77 Fahrenheit, about 24 Celsius. 82 Fahrenheit for highs in the central Bahamas, that's 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight could be in the mid to upper 50s for lows for the northern and northwest Bahamas, near 14 Celsius. Lows in the low to mid 60s in the central and southeast Bahamas, near 16, 17 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. Weather brought to you by Star General, insurance made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
The Central Bank is continuing to recognize outstanding scholarly work by Bahamian College students. The T. Baswell Donaldson Research Prize of up to $20,000 will be awarded for the winning research paper on any topic in economics, finance, or business related to the Bahamas. The top finalists will also be selected to participate in the summer research seminar organized by the Central Bank. Submission deadline is April 30th, 2025. For more details, email exr@centralbankbahamas.com.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you? World of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Spring is here, and it's all about fun in the sun. And what better way to jumpstart your weekend than with a trip to the Sports Center for an exciting 15 to 20% off store-wide sale. Everything you need: beach umbrellas and chairs, beach toys, pool toys, and boogie boards starting from $19.99. All your favorite swimwear, including Salt Life and Quicksilver, starting from $26.95. Snorkeling gear, hats, sunblock, waterproof beach speakers, and more. Visit the Sports Center today, Harbor Bay, Mullet Marathon, and Sandyport, and get 15 to 20% off store-wide. Sale ends April 2nd.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology: Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-11.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969. And you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and Mo Manchester Robards will be joining us. Coming up this morning, we're going to tell you about your chance to win a Tesla Cybertruck. And the big promotion with Everybody Wins. We'll get all the details about that. And later in business, it's our monthly series with Bristol. And we've got a lot to talk to them about, a whole lot going on, including tariffs. We want to find out what impact that's going to have on your favorite wines and spirits. That's all up on this Wednesday, but let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, a lot to talk about this morning, including the latest with the Valley Boys. Which ones? Yeah, we'll talk about all of that. SpaceX and the recovery after the Starship explosion over the Bahamas. We'll talk about that. And we want to begin, though, with these comments from the U.S. Embassy, the Charge d'Affaires, that all this that we've been with Cuban forced labor, that, hey, this doesn't have anything to do with the Bahamas. What? Huh? A week? It's been a week? How long have we been talking about this? Oh, boy. Take a listen to this report from our Vonik Toot.
Following U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's announcement of visa sanctions on Caribbean countries that make use of Cuba's overseas medical missions, Charge d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas, Kim Furnish, insisted the Bahamas is not being targeted by the policy, adding that while the U.S. does have concerns about human rights issues within the Cuban medical program, U.S. officials are not aware of any such issues here in the Bahamas.
And I just really want to highlight that was really a global inquiry from the United States. So that inquiry and that question about the Cuban medical program went through every embassy, U.S. embassy in the world, to their local hosts. So I really want to state that the Bahamas is not targeted by this. This went to every embassy in the world. The Cuban medical program is something that we're concerned about. There have been some human rights issues within that program. We're not happening in the Bahamas. It's simply the beginning of the opening of a discussion about that program.
The Bahamas recruited Cuban doctors and nurses during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. On Monday, Prime Minister Philip Davis reiterated that the Bahamas is not engaged in forced labor and acknowledged that a portion of the salaries of Cuban medical professionals who work in the country goes to an agency in Cuba, something the government is reviewing. Furnish says she has had discussions with Bahamian government officials about the matter.
And I've had this discussion with, top leadership here, with the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister. We've talked about it at length. We're not targeting any individual Minister of State here. There's no concerns there. It's just simply a discussion. We're talking about how these Cuban medicals are treated, how medical professionals, how they're paid. We want to make sure that their human rights are being met, right? And this is really more about the Cuban government and not the Bahamian government. So I just want to highlight that for the group. And we're having wonderful discussions about it.
Leaders of several Caribbean countries have raised concerns about the policy, calling it unfair and unjustified. CARICOM leaders are discussing their response to the U.S. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville said on Sunday Cuban medical professionals play a critical role in the local healthcare industry. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Toot.
Wow. Okay. That was a lot about... Well, I don't know what to say. What do you think about that, folks? Why not be specific in the beginning? They're very specific about a lot of other things. Why not just say we're concerned about what's happening in this place, that place? Why leave it so broad and up to interpretation?
Isn't that part of the administration?
Where is this coming from? Oh, well, it's Chester Robards out of nowhere. Like, who's this spirit that I'm hearing? Oh, good morning, Chester. Good to have you with us.
Wash it and start
Let's
over.
hear say that again for us, please.
I'm just saying, isn't that just kind of part of this administration's MO?
You mean the current U.S.
Yes,
yeah.
the current U.S. administration.
Or is it? I mean, I believe they're very specific with things.
Are they?
No?
Not always.
So it's a guessing game. So it's a game, essentially. And it's a bit unsettling. I mean, And this was allowed to continue for so many days before there was clarity on this. And they want to see what the world leaders would say, how many would declare that this visas. Say, oh, you? Okay, you're on my list now. Because I'm at a loss for words.
Do you have the audio of what me and Motley said about this whole situation?
Yeah, we played that a few days ago. And we read other statements from other leaders. So this is bizarre. What am I missing? Let us know what you're thinking, callers. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. It's like they were watching, sitting back. Okay, now we can say something. Caller, what say you? Good morning.
Hey, Dwight. Good morning. How you doing?
Hi.
I think was that Chester that spoke earlier?
Yes.
He's on to something when he talk about take your cue from the current administration and how they're functioning. I mean, if 2 minutes then make an assessment of what's going on in America right now, it's chaos on steroids. Firing people and then mistakenly having to bring them back because you mistakenly fired them and all the other stuff that they're doing. And I agree with you that the fact that this matter has made its rounds in the media for the past several days, and I believe that's the Shade Affairs for the U.S. Embassy just find it necessary or relevant to make a statement after all this time and after all the leaders of the region have chimed in on this incident. It speaks to the chaos that America represents right now, and it's so unfortunate that we are so tied to the hips to them, because sometimes I just wish that we were a different part of the geography and not next to them, because they thrive on mischief, and sometimes the unintended consequence for small nations is just riveting. But that's all I have to say. And there's so much more to come.
Interesting stuff. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Wow.
All right.
We got some text messages coming. You can text us as well, 422-4796. This person says, hey, that's not what she said. Not being targeted does not mean this doesn't apply to you. It simply means you were targeted. A bunch of other countries are also subject to having visas of government officials revoked. And the statement, we're not aware of any violations in the Bahamas, does not mean there aren't any violations. It means we haven't found any yet. Oh, boy. We saw similar language when the overflight fees were under litigation. The judge struck down the ruling of targeted high prices because the high prices apply to everybody. That's an interesting interpretation of it. So, as John says, perhaps it is not over. Not over yet, but quite curious. Quite curious. So, a lot of people were saying they were hoping for stronger language from Prime Minister Davis, and maybe he's right to have been so guarded and not to go as far as Mia Motley and some of the other leaders, because you don't know what you're dealing with yet. And to say these things, this is the era of petty politics, petty global politics, and your words might come back to bite you. But we'll see. Is this the end of it? We'll leave it there. We'll move on from that. Wow. All right, so we got an update on what's happening with the SpaceX recovery efforts. Rachel Scott writing about it in today's NASA Guardian. Nearly 2 weeks after that SpaceX Starship rocket exploded over the Bahamas, Department of Environmental Planning and Protection Director Dr. Rhianna Neely says that the SpaceX team has left the country after modeling revealed the engine is likely in deep water. So she's saying the search isn't quite concluded, but the modeling has come back with a high confidence rate that the engine is in deep waters and is probably irretrievable. So she says, quote, we're still asking people to call in reference to the smaller debris, but the chances that we will recover any large, heavy pieces are slim to none. Wow. Neely had said previously that heat shields from the Starship rocket were found along Ragged Island. Bahamas from Exuma to Crooked Island and Acklands. She said yesterday that the decision to expand the search to Andros did not prove to be fruitful. She said boaters and locals in the southern Bahamas, including Ragged Island and Crooked Island, have been contracted to keep a lookout for debris, and that the objective is to recover as many pieces as possible before they deteriorate. She says,
what contracted to do what? Contracted
to keep a lookout for debris.
You have a contract to look. Are they a search party?
Hey, let's read directly from the quote. She says, the objective of the retrieval of these pieces is for us to collect larger pieces so they do not turn into a problem in the future. Oh boy, what does that mean? Currently, they pose no danger to the environment or to society, but the challenge is making sure that you remove as many of them as possible so that the probability remains low in the future. Okay. What could potentially happen? Interesting. With many in the Bahamas already weary over an agreement between the government and SpaceX, which involves controlled Falcon 9 booster landings in Bahamian waters, the Starship incident highlighted or heightened some concerns. Neely assured yesterday that the government is making a concerted effort to ensure the Bahamas' environment and people are safe in a new era of space enterprise. Saying, quote, the government's working ourselves in the middle of a space frontier. It's not just SpaceX, and we're working to make sure that we are keeping the Bahamian community safe and keeping the environment safe against everything that has the potential to cause harm. It's not just SpaceX. Wow. Okay. What else?
Is that what you said? It's
yes.
Not just SpaceX?
What does that mean?
Good. That's right.
Is it
keep the same energy with everything?
Is it going to be?
I hope they are.
The Amazon people too, or who else? Or anybody, any and everybody who can spell space? Is that what's going to come our way? All right, keep a lookout. Not a problem right now, but could be in the future. I'm very concerned by that. What does that mean? Are they going to morph into something? If they're exposed to the elements, they'll start walking, flying on their own. What does it mean? Oh boy. Okay. Let's get your reaction to that, folks.
Godzilla versus Starship.
Oh my goodness gracious. 323-6232, 32516, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. Some text messages. This person says, are these fishermen who were contracted, will the found pieces they told us not to touch, but rather to call them to report, going to be mixed in with the conch, grouper, and lobster catches? What now? You mean like if they do like what? Big nets and stuff? What do you mean? Or the conch and the grouper going to eat it? What's your concern? Which one? I mean, that is concerning as well. This is going back to Cuba, this text here. The most reasonably thinking people would assume that if the U.S. was truly concerned about Cuban citizens, then lifting the embargo and relaxing sanctions against them would be a monumental first step. Supposedly, there are concerns about the regime that runs the country, yet North Korea, Russia, out of the statement by Rubio. Well, I don't know if anybody's hiring, except for China, hiring any of those folks through the government. So it's a little bit different, but I do get your point. Interesting. All right. Yeah. Back to SpaceX. So, Chester, how are you feeling? No concerns about it. Everything's fine. Just when you see a big piece of something,
concerns?
Let them know.
I mean, they're not finding anything. I don't know what the concerns should be at the moment.
Nothing big. Little things. Yeah. And again, let them know. Report it to the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection.
And SpaceX hasn't said that the ship had, as people have been saying online since the Falcon 9 thing, radioactive material on board or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. No, they aren't saying it.
And nobody's saying anything about
They
fuel.
aren't saying it, sure. Mm-hmm.
So nobody's saying it. Your concern is, she said, in the future. So the question is, what do you know that we don't know?
Who? Them.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, what does that mean? That's odd. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so the other big story, the Valley Boys, Junkanoo. So there was a court. You knew this went to court. There's a court matter. Both sides are kind of claiming victory as a result of this, though. So let's see if we can follow this closely. I want to get your reaction to this as well. So the headline is, Way Forward Valley Boys claim Valley name after court ruling. But the other Valley Boys are saying, hold your horses, not so fast. So our Rachel Scott writing that in the latest legal development affecting the two factions of the Valley Boys Junkanoo group, a Supreme Court judge yesterday lifted an injunction that had prevented the world-famous Valley Boys from being struck from the register of non-profit organizations. The breakaway group known as the Way Forward Valley Boys, which is quickly claimed this as a victory, with Davis stating that it confirms that his group has the right to the Valley Boys name. However, the world-famous Valley Boys, led by Brian Adderley, said the court did not order or direct it to find a new name. That group, the world-famous Valley Boys, says, quote, furthermore, this ruling does not affect our continued existence as a legally recognized entity, duly registered with the government. We're also officially registered with the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, the JCNP, and are in full preparation for the upcoming Junkanoo season. The refusal to grant leave relates solely to our NPO status, nonprofit organization, and has no impact on our ability to operate, perform, or proudly uphold the Valley Boys legacy. So that ruling by Justice Darron Ellis comes after a year of confusion surrounding the Valley Boys group, which split into two due to a disagreement of the way the group should be led and structured. While Adderley has led the Valley Boys for many years, that the group did not have a constitution or a structure to guide the leadership selection process. Amid growing tension, Davis and others from the group registered the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group as a nonprofit organization in September 2023. On January 17, 2024, Adderley and his supporters registered the world-famous Valley Boys as a nonprofit organization. On April 10th last year, the Davis-led group submitted a letter of protest to the Registrar General objecting to the registration of the world-famous Valley Boys, claiming it was intended to deceive or confuse the public. The Registrar General, upon investigation, concluded that the world-famous Valley Boys name was too close to that of the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group, which was the Way Forward Valley Boys, and gave them 30 days to propose a new name that did not include the words Valley Boys, failing which it would be removed from the register. In response, the world-famous Valley Boys filed an... Are you still following? Yeah? Okay. In response, the world-famous Valley Boys filed an application for leave to apply for judicial review and sought an injunction group from the register. The Valley Boys Junkanoo Group, the Way Forward Valley Boys, applied to discharge the injunction on November 29th, but the application was denied. Yesterday's ruling reversed that decision. The ordeal between the two groups led to a widespread confusion. I'm confused right now. My head is spinning. Feels like someone's shaking cowbells around me. Oh, my goodness. Over which group had rights to the Valley Boys. After much back and forth, only the world-famous Valley Boys was permitted to compete in the A Division in the recent Boxing Day Junkanoo parades because the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence said it was the only group of the two that was registered. But in a statement yesterday, Davis said his group plans to register with the JCNP before April 1st. Davis noted, quote, with this ruling, we plan to register the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group with the JCNP. This is a victory for every member, fan, and supporter who stood with us during this difficult time. We were ridiculed, laughed at, and doubted, but we remained steadfast has prevailed.
Who said that?
Davis. Okay. However, the famous Valley Boys said it plans to appeal the decision. That group, I think, which one? Who's the world famous one? Said, quote, the refusal to grant leave relates solely to our nonprofit organization status and has no impact on our ability to operate, perform, or proudly uphold the Valley Boys legacy. Yes. And they said, we fully intend to appeal this ruling in the Court of Appeal and will continue to defend our position vehemently. In the meantime, our focus remains on what we do best, bringing the spirit of Junkanoo and the excellence of the Valley Boys to the Bahamian people and the world at large. Okay. So nothing basically has changed.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Let's get your reaction to all of this. Every story is leaving me puzzled today.
Don't use the word leave; it just confuses you.
Don't use the word.
Confuses everything.
If you say leave,
yeah,
you're confusing me now. I don't understand what you're saying.
That's exactly what happens when you use it.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm confused.
It's some legal term to apply for leave.
Oh, that. That was. Now you're. Okay. Everything. Today is a day of confusion. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's hear from you folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796.
You need to get a lawyer to figure out what's happening with this.
The Junkanoo thing?
Yeah.
This one's clear. It's same thing. Yeah.
Clear as perspex.
Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Cousin Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chester.
I'll come on, your cousin.
I'm going to this morning, Dwight. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
but you're biased, though. You're biased. You can't do that.
No, I'm not biased.
No.
I'm going to tell you, just as your news reported it, because most of it last year I was listening in it through Guardian Radio. You understand? Even though I was privileged to some information with reference to the court. Okay, let's take it back from day one. How all this all got started.
Yeah,
This got started last year, mid last year, when the Registrar General, after doing their due diligence, found out that Trevor Davis and the Way Forward Valley Boys, the duly registered paperwork for the name. Remember now, we was crying that Mr. Brian Adley and his crew let the name lapse for 14 years. After 3 years, it becomes anybody's game. So Mr. Trevor Davis and the members of the Valley Boys brought the name up in arrest to go and speak to Brian, which never happened. More than 10. I want you to take in consideration that Registrar General, after doing their due diligence, told Mr. Brian Adley last year on your news and everybody that he had to change his name. This was it all got started. And they gave Brian until the 19th of the month to change his name. Brian then put in an injunction on the 18th against, not the Way Forward, he put in an injunction against the Registrar General and the Attorney General's office. That was what the court case was all about, in an effort for him not to change his name. Now, with the injunction, he was supposed to satisfy the courts with certain information so that the injunction can be upheld. He didn't do it on 2 occasions. So the Registrar General and the Attorney General took him back to court yesterday, and in Bahamian vernacular, his case was thrown. His case got thrown. Okay? So now, the only legitimate papers for the Valley Boys are Trevor Davis and the Way Forward.
Okay, so it has changed. So things have changed. He's
now,
going to appeal.
Yes, what Brian knows putting out to the news this morning is disingenuous. It is disingenuous information like what they've been doing all along. It was disingenuous. They call us the breakaway group. They tell us, go get your own name, all kind of things. Well, the courts made a decision yesterday because they couldn't supply the courts with the information the courts was asking them for. That ain't got nothing to do with Guardian Radio or the way forward. That was on them. They put the government in going, and they lost. Any further questions, Your Honor?
Yes, cousin-in-law, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I feel like there was something I hadn't heard before. So maybe I did hear it, but I didn't remember.
Just to speak up a little bit, I can barely hear you.
Maybe I heard it, but I didn't remember. But so the name world famous Valley Boys had lapsed, so nobody had paid for the registration of that name for years.
The Valley Boys.
For 14 years.
The Valley Boys. And the Trevor Davis group brought it up to, they renewed it.
Well, okay, then let me correct you there, yes. But it wasn't a Trevor Davis group.
Okay.
It was a group of disgruntled members wanting to speak to the administration at that time, but in realizing that the name had lapsed and that Chester could have gone and get it, Dwight could have gone and get it, the members say, man, let's Trevor, we got to bring this name up to date, and then when we go to meet with Ryan, we put all this on the table.
Right.
That meeting never happened.
All right, but the ruling does not stop Brian's faction from using the Valley Boys name, right?
Yeah.
it has to.
The judge, see, he put the Attorney General them in court so he didn't have to change his name. He lost that battle. Okay, so now the judge ain't going to tell him to change his name. What's going to happen now is the Registrar General is going to resubmit that letter to him that he has to change his name.
Right.
That's the position he in.
Yes, the ruling yesterday was lifting the injunction, preventing...
Exactly right. The court as to why he don't have to change his name, and he didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's putting out in the news this morning is disingenuous, because now the Registrar General is going to tell him again, change your name. Now he putting in what it is?
Appeal. Yeah.
But you only can put in an appeal based on a prior ruling. He never supplied the court with anything, so the judge just threw the case out. Insufficient evidence. So I don't know what appeal he going on, and he don't have a prior ruling to appeal. So his information is disingenuous, and I hope the public don't believe that nonsense no more. No more. The Valley Boys, way forward, we're going to Bay Street, and I hope Devon Jones this morning for filling in for him, because he is now, we have a structure in place. He is now the public relations officer for the way forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Right.
Appreciate it. By the way, stick on the line, because you gave your number yesterday, and some people were calling asking for it. I didn't write it down. But stay on the line. Give it to the producer, please.
He's like, no.
You get a call back.
No.
You get a call back.
I don't want nobody calling me.
Well, he put it out there yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. We will see. We will see what's going to happen here. This is still confusing. This texter says here, this is still weird. It's very unusual for a registrar anywhere in the world to register a name that is commonly in use to persons not authorized by the entity using the name. Well, that's the challenge, right? They didn't know if they weren't. Plus, they were members of the group.
But it could be commonly used. But if you haven't renewed
that's true too.
The name in almost 20 years, or renewed your license, or however, right, that part of the whole, then it should be defunct.
Yeah, well, but they are members of the group.
I got, I've seen, like in the States, if you don't properly renew your things, they throw your business out and the name's up in the air.
Yeah, definitely.
In a year, like within a year.
Yeah. In days with websites.
Yeah, with websites.
This is still unfortunate that it's come to this. People were hoping that they would come together and resolved it, and wouldn't have to go through the legal system. But look, this is going to go. This may go all the way. This may go all the way.
I mean, no, I don't think it.
You don't think so?
Way.
No, because I was laughing at it this morning. How this would be kind of
interesting
to see go to the Privy Council.
Well, if this was an injunction, there's not like a case where you're.
Oh, I think this is the beginning. This is this could easily become a court battle.
And who's going to pay for it? Anyway,
there's value in this name. There's value in that name, definitely, because they could have solved this along with a different name, we'll show you who's the whatever, right? But obviously, that name is quite valuable.
Well, the fan club is valuable.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, what happened? GNN, I'm too quick.
Yes. Yeah. I was saying that you gave your number and people were calling for it again. So if you
Listen, another thing I need to tell you all and to tell the nation, because the name was left in arrears for 14 years and Trevor Davis and the members decided to register the group to the members, not to Trevor Davis or not to Brian Adley, to the members. The name Valley Boys is now trademark registered. So if Brian cannot, and his groupings cannot furbish the courts with the fact that they are the rightful owners, that name has now been trademarked to the way forward, which means nobody can use it. So going down Bay Street this year, Brian Adley will not, and his grouping, be able to use the trademark.
Okay.
You get that?
We hear you. We hear you. Stick on the line. The producer wants to get your number. All right? Yep. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Wow. We'll take another call, and then we got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning to both of you.
Hi. How's it going?
There's a song called Peace in the Valley by Bloody. Can you let the producer play that, please?
All right. We'll see if we can find that.
It's called There Will Be Peace in the Valley. It has recently come out, but it's an old song, a really religious song. But he has redone the song, and it's very nice. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I guess there's a message there for the groups, hey? Boy. Yeah. Let's take another call. Yeah, let's squeeze that in. Good morning, caller. You're live. Are you there? No. Okay. Let's read these messages as we go. This person says here, the SpaceX is back to SpaceX. SpaceX team assured us that they would complete a full recovery. That team is left, so I can only believe the local boatmen will be charged with collecting the debris if they find it. 1 hour with tides and winds could push debris anywhere, so the only option might be stuffed in with the conch for storage. What now? Okay. Is our government in possession of any data that unequivocally confirms that our airspace and oceans will not be adversely impacted by the materials used to manufacture these boosters again? I'll ask again, what if there is an issue with their guidance systems to get another my bad, like with GIN or Clico, Crackhead Games?
Well, don't stop there. Keep going.
We don't have all day. You mean to list all the examples?
Yeah.
We'd be here till midnight.
And list all your daddy cousins and family members.
What now?
Not them specifically.
Oh.
Bahamians.
Oh, okay.
Who be tearing up our environment.
Wow.
I'm just saying, we just need to keep the same energy across the board.
Mm-hmm. Well, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Man, this volleyball boy thing, this can be going back and forth the courts. Higher courts, lower courts, whatever. I think we need to let them battle what they got to deal with and deal with the issues in this country. Because at the end of the day, when we go to the next court level, it'll be another situation, another spin on this. So let them work with their issue, and let's focus on what's going on with our country and how we can better the Bahamas. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for calling in to say that. Hey, let's go to the break. We'll pick this up on the other side and more of what's making news on this Wednesday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good morning. I'm Ed Donahue with an AP News Minute. A federal judge ruled the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, likely violated the Constitution.
And blocked billionaire Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from further cuts. The ruling orders the Trump administration to restore email and computer access to all employees of USAID, including those who were placed on administrative leave. In February, the Trump administration placed all but a fraction of the agency's worldwide staff on leave and notified at least 1,600 of its U.S.-based staffers that they were being fired. Decade-old agency, and as part of a broader push to cancel billions of dollars in foreign spending. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says a vow by Russia's Vladimir Putin not to attack energy infrastructure was very much at odds with reality, following an overnight barrage of drone strikes in Ukraine. I'm Ed Donahue.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything but flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Let's get your first look at traffic in, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work that's going on Blue Hill Road. That's Blue Hill Road South, mainly between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. It's expected to wrap up between today and tomorrow. But avoid that area if you can. In your real-time traffic right now, we are seeing heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road South of Independence Drive. That's northbound of St. Vincent Road, especially very busy as you get closer to Carmichael all the way up to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. Over on Milo Butler Highway, surprisingly not as bad as it normally is. Traffic, as you get closer to Harold Pond, if you're heading northbound, you'll see that traffic in front of you on the way to Tawny Booms Darling Highway. And also manageable north of Fire Trail, you'll see that heavy traffic in front of you at this hour. And we've got Eastern Road, though, seeing some very, very slow-moving westbound traffic from San Souci up to Johnson Road and Prince Charles Drive, the major intersections, especially heading into Soldier Road and west of that area. That's Robinson up to Marathon East-West Highway. Those are hot spots right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solutions with rbc.com/loan/all of you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:24, time for another check of your weather for today. Weather brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. We've got a lot going on weather-wise to some extent, but here's what's happening. We've got a strong ridge accompanied by a dry air mass over the air. That's going to promote sunny skies and mild temperatures across the islands today through tonight. Meanwhile, a deep Atlantic low continues to generate hazardous boating and beaching conditions along Atlantic coastlines. So as a result of that, we've got a small craft advisory in effect for all Atlantic waters, and small craft operators are strongly advised to remain in port. Beachgoers also advised to stay on shore as rough surf and high risk of rip currents will pose life-threatening conditions. Motorists along coastal roadways also need to be exercising caution, especially if you're in Eleuthera near the Glass Window Bridge. So these sea swells are going to continue for the remainder of the week into Friday. Conditions will remain pleasantly quiet on land for another day or so before another cold front moves into the northern Bahamas by early Friday morning. That's expected to come in with not much fanfare, just a few showers along the boundary before stalling near the southeast Bahamas by Saturday. High pressure is going to build behind that front, and another wave of cooler temperatures will follow straight through to the end of the week. Today, we're looking at mostly sunny and mild conditions, becoming fair and cool tonight for most of the country, a bit milder in the southeast Bahamas. High temperatures for the northern and northwest Bahamas in the mid to upper 70s, around 23 Celsius. In the central and southeast Bahamas, highs in the low 80s, around 27 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight for the northern Bahamas and the northwestern islands in the mid to upper 50s, around 15, 16 Celsius, and look for lows in the low to mid 60s for the central and southeast Bahamas, around 17, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, Thursday, partly mostly sunny during the day, becoming partly cloudy at night. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, fair at night across the rest of the country. For Friday, partly cloudy during the day. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, becoming partly sunny for the afternoon, turning mostly fair at night. Partly sunny in the central and southeast Bahamas, and partly cloudy by the afternoon. And for Saturday, partly sunny again for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy for the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Walls looking a little well, swing by Sherwin-Williams Paints for a fresh coat of wow. Best customer service, bold colors, and bargain prices. They've got it all. Sherwin-Williams, let's roll. Time for another check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solutions with RBC. A reminder of the roadworks on Blue Hill Road South. You might want to avoid the area between 9:30 and 2:30 in the afternoon. Today, that's expected to wrap up or wind down between today and tomorrow. In your real-time traffic, we've got a number of hot spots, and a number of the hot spots not as hot as usual. So let's begin with that one. That's not as hot as usual, Milo Butler Highway. Unusually light traffic. Perhaps there's traffic assistance in the area. So you're only going to see heavy traffic once you get north of Harold Pond this morning. Very, very, very interesting situation there on the way to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. But of course, if you continue heading northbound, you're going to run into that heavy traffic at the Six-Legged Roundabout. Even before you get to the Sports Center Road roundabout on the way to Six-Legged. And JFK Drive to Six-Legged, heavy traffic eastbound, and some heavy traffic southbound on New Providence Highway as well. Back to Tonic Williams Darling Highway, we're seeing some slow-moving west near on the way to Milo Butler Highway, and again, heavy westbound traffic on the way to the roundabout with Bahamas Games Boulevard. Over on Blue Hill Road, it's busy from Carmichael straight up to Independence Drive. Independence Drive, both directions, heavy traffic at this hour, west and eastbound. And Gladstone Road, also seeing some slow-moving traffic north of Fire Trail on the way to John F. Kennedy Drive if you're heading northbound. West Bay Street near Saunders Beach, slow-moving eastbound traffic near New Providence Highway roundabout, and again east of Arawak Key on West Bay Street. Heavy traffic heading into downtown, especially near Nassau Street. Not looking pretty for you there. Duke Street, also heavy traffic west of Market Street on the way to Blue Hill Road. Back to Eastern New Providence, we've got Eastern Road from San Souci to Johnson Road, heavy traffic, and Robinson Road between Soldier and Marathon Road. Very slow-moving westbound traffic for you this morning. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Pinda has a new line, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors, Sky Noir, Sky Gris, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Azure. As the name suggests, you would think it has a strong blue component, but the blue is kind of like just a hint in the overall coloring of the porcelain. The blue feature runs more or less the center of the tile, and that's surrounded by light shades of gray. The Sky Azure, like the others in the series, needs to be seen to be appreciated. Stop by Pinda Tile and have a look at Sky Azure, one of the 4 in the Sky series.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawn live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the World Ball. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
Nassau Tile is celebrating 95 years in business by giving you 20% off store-wide. Catch the sale on all tiles, thin set, grout, mosaics, and more. Save up to 30% off select wall tiles and 30% off ceramic and select mosaic and backsplash tiles. Our experts will guide you in selecting the right tiles. Visit Nassau Tile on Doswell Street or call 322-2100 to make your dream space a reality. Don't miss the marvelous March anniversary sale from March 24th to 29th. Follow Nassau Tile on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
Inland Revenue is here to guide and help you with all and VAT. On March 25th and 26th at the National Baseball Stadium, the DIR will host a financial simple private agencies. Then in the month of April, learn all about VAT through our in-person and virtual sessions during what we call VAT Education Month. For more information, follow capital DIR Bahamas on all social media platforms.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Tell us reveal it, and we in there, till you believe again. The people are rising up, the goods them lining up. We gon' bring it back to Bombay. We about to liven up, girls them winding up. Girl roll that bongie like it's swing play.
Oh, I got that feeling. Ain't nothing holding me back. So I tell all the girl them, I got that feeling. This junk canoe got me throwing it back.
It's going down, yeah. Down on me, it's going down on me. Yeah. Down on me. So we tell them, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na. It's going down on me.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Talking about what's in the news on this Wednesday morning. You can join the conversation 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796.
I just want to say good morning to Alice, because Alice listens to the show a lot. Good morning, Alice. I miss you. It's Peter's fault. That's all I got to say.
It's all code.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Well, good morning, Alice. Hope we have a good one. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Hey, so there's the other paper, the Tribune today. Election chief out after criticism. Acting Parliamentary Registration Commissioner Arthur Taylor has been removed from his post and reassigned to another government agency. Government officials did not respond to questions about his departure yesterday, and it's not clear where he's been transferred. His removal followed heavy criticism of his department's handling of the recent local government election process, which critics say was marred by delays, ballot errors, and administrative missteps across multiple family islands. Tribune understands these elections played a role in the decision to transfer him. All right. So I'm not sure about this at all, right? Whatever. But my concern is this is 2025. We know that the general election is supposed to happen within a year. And yet I'm still walking around with a purple paper.
Yeah.
Voter's card.
Yeah.
Which is now what we've used that one for 2 general elections, right?
Right.
Despite us having a permanent ballot.
Right.
What is going on? We've moved to something a little more sophisticated. There's no talk of this changing. Is that even on the radar? We are a year out. What is happening?
Crickets.
Let's talk
Do
about
things work here? Do things work here?
What does that mean?
Do people work here?
I don't know what's going on. I really don't even have the energy to talk. All of these
I don't
stories
want to
today
talk
have
about
left
it.
me puzzled and confused about everything. Like, what is going on? We spent a week talking about something that apparently has nothing to do with us. And that was by design, clearly. Things go to court and they don't really end up resolved. We're told, don't worry about stuff that falls out of the sky on us.
We'll tell you, don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it. But maybe if it's there too long, though, it might become a problem. Huh?
It's not going to rust.
And still, a purple voter's card that's made out of
What
paper.
are they talking about? What does that headline mean? Who criticized whom?
Well, no, they say the local government election was botched. It was there were
that
issues.
criticism.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I didn't read the story.
Mhm.
All right.
But okay, that's fine. But this is what, the third? Is he the third guy since
don't
the
know.
last general
No idea.
election? The second? Now they'll be second or third since then. It's been years. And there were several people before that guy who was there for the general election. So the department is clearly in a chaotic state. But in any event, I still have a purple voter's card. Why? Why is a voter's card made out of cardboard still with a permanent registry?
I was totally going to get in
Permanent
trouble
register.
for... I was totally... No, I'm not going to say that.
Chicken. Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Good morning, caller on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester. Seattle
morning.
Johnson.
Hi.
Let me take a bite at a couple of points. Let me just go back to the Rubio issue. Dwight, you know, the Cuba doctors are in 67 countries. How many of those 67 countries that you hear screaming? Most of them are from the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, the rock says, you know, when you throw a rock into a pack of dog, who screams? You know, so when you look at the whole thing, they never listed the Bahamas, nor they listed any of the other countries, even though subsequent information came out afterwards. But I agree with the charge they affair. It's a rule of thumb where it has to be examined, there has to be concern. You also, that as much as $10 billion, I think, from the, I don't know if it's exactly from the Caribbean area in South America alone, is sent back into Cuba as part of their $60 to $70 billion GDP. So it becomes a significant amount of money that contributes to that GDP that comes from the program. So we must look at it fully in context from a geopolitical as well as from your America First interest. And so I think it's more than just what is being said. It's oftentimes what is not said that is important. On your voters cards, you know, there's a whole lot of issues, and one of the problems we have with the voters card, it comes back to the whole digitization of the Bahamas, and it's something that somehow we seem to always want to avoid. What digitization has, what effect digitization have, and so it affects the complete working, and this ties into the fact that we could be hit with a 25% inflation impact concerning some of the policies that the United States is taking. So it is imperative that the Bahamas must have a growth strategy to offset these inflationary impacts. And so when it comes to digitization, digitalization, datification, and digital transformation, it has become a digital imperative for the Bahamas if we are to grow. It is shown that digitization of the economy has had impact of growth of GDP almost exponentially. And the point in that is that if you begin to look at our voters card, we've paid a few to have the voters card digitized, and even paid some foreigners to actually take control of our data and prepare for it. We haven't heard much of that. We've had people who've applied for citizenship that has just recently applied for citizenship that has similar names that showed up in our voters database. The question then becomes, are we serious about purging our voters database? Are we serious about immigration? Because all of these are interrelated, with each other. Because if the only method we use in the Bahamas is a passport as proof of citizenship, then every person on the voters roll should have a passport. And that doesn't occur. And so that tells us right then and there that there is no sense of true security in our voters roll. But we could fix these things. And this doesn't take weeks and years, months and years. Because we're only talking about, for most of our voters roll, 225,000. We have already had the process of digitization started almost 20 plus years, company called Benchmark here in the Bahamas. And the information is there. The problem is, why are we resisting digitization? And I'll tell you why, Dwight.
Really
because
quickly.
It goes to the economy. The same where illegals work, the same where immigration misfunctions. It's the same way we are finding contamination in our voters roll. It's the same thing when we have misinformation concerning our birth records. And digitization does not allow for these things to remain. So one can only ask, why are we resisting digitization when it could have an impact concerning the personal economies of individuals and continues to hold on to these things while screaming 21st century this?
Somebody clearly likes it.
Innovation.
Yeah. Thank you, C. Allen Berry.
Lots of people.
Somebody
Lots of people.
Loves the chaos. Somebody.
Lots of people. I asked somebody yesterday or day before why the government, the top people of the government, the figureheads who we vote in, keep talking about bureaucracy as if they have zero control over it. Yes? They don't.
They don't? Or they like it?
No control over it.
You sure?
Clearly.
They could fix it.
I mean, if they're saying it out loud.
No, because they don't want to be seen as part of the problem, right? Well, they're acting like I can't fix it.
So won't you still be seen as part of the problem if you say you can't fix it?
I'm sure it works for somebody. Some supporters can say, "Oh, the system did this." Well, fix the system. But they will gladly say
during the power purchase agreement, Prime Minister Davis said, "I'm glad you were able to break through or work through the bureaucracy." And I was like, "Aren't you guys in charge of the bureaucracy? What is he talking about?" But he said the same thing at Business Outlook when he talked about the banks.
Because it ain't him.
There's nobody.
I'm an
Who
innocent
is it?
victim.
Who is it?
It's the great bureaucracy demon in the country. We have to pray it away. Pray it away. It's lingering over the country. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are we going to do about this system? The system
Prayer
holding
works.
us down.
Prayer works.
The
People don't.
system's holding
People
us down. Oh, this system. Fix the system.
Well, it's the people that they have chained to the system.
I've been. Oh, I stand corrected. No, I said cardboard. It's construction paper. They said cardboard is a little stronger. Yeah, that's right.
It's more ply.
Construction paper.
It has more plies than
I haven't
construction
used
paper.
construction paper since I was in grade 3, maybe 2. So yes.
That's not true. You have it in your card.
Yeah. I haven't cut it up or anything. Yeah,
Do you think they
done
hand
work
cut
in?
Do they get
I
it
think
in
they use
those
a guillotine.
rectangles?
They use the guillotine
Oh
to
yeah,
cut it
that's
up.
somebody's job.
You might as well hire a private school student, although it's very dangerous to play the
don't play with the
guillotine if you are in primary school.
Off with our heads.
Well, as I say, is it a crime to deface your construction paper voter's card if I like to put some sticky stuff on it and whatever? Will that be an issue? I think I'm going to smear it in peanut butter and hand it to the election officer. Here you go. What you going to do? Is it no longer good? Hey, well, you should have given me something that could have, washable, a card that could have been cleaned off.
Why are you smearing it in peanut
Because as a form of protest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because this is stupid. This is very silly. We've gone how many years like this?
My picture got
It's a
ruined.
permanent now, a register now. There's no reason for this. How many years have we been?
I went to a conference, right, and they were printing our ID cards on the spot. Like they would just take your picture, print your ID card, a plastic card, nice firm thing. It was really cool. They were really up to date.
The technology's been here for years.
Forever.
But yet.
Not here. You mean around.
As we go to the break, this texter says here, we need a Bahamian version of Doge without the Elon.
But we wouldn't call it that. That's the problem.
What does it stand for? Department of...
No, I'm just saying we pronounce doggy.
Oh, God. Okay, we're going to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Ain't nothing holding me back. So I tell all the girl them, I got that. This drunk and new got me throwing it back. It's going down out on bed. Yeah. Down on bed. It's going down out on bed. Wake up. It's a new day.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and binders, magazines, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Are you ready to indulge in the to TCI? Hop over to Havana or fly to Florida. No matter the destination, jumpstart your journey with Bahamas Air, the national fly carrier of the Bahamas. Take advantage of our frequent flyer program and exclusive hotel and car deals. Book your flight now at bahamasair.com or visit your local ticket sales office in Nassau or Grand Bahama. Bahamas Air, we don't just fly here, we live here.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawn live at the concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
EMS and Elvis, is a station of all of these. World girl, world boss. Oh. Give me the energy. Roots rocking, good loving, baby. Why you turn me on like a radio? Turn me up like a radio. Me no know where the body they came from, but you tune me in on your station. You make me hot, come on sip it. Me feel cool when you don't eat it. You get the PM, you must be time in the falling low.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Anna's on. The Big Vibes Cartel concert is March 29th. So that's a lot. And also, Everybody Wins is helping you to get there and giving away another Cybertruck. So there's a lot of exciting things going on. Giselle Rowe with Everybody Wins is here with us. Jade Knowles here to talk about the concert as well. Ladies, great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Do y'all have a container of Cybertrucks just like chilling somewhere?
No, that's our last one.
This is going to be the third one, right?
Second.
Okay. Second one you're giving away. Wow. All right. So where do we begin? So much going on. Giselle, you want to start? Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
Well, I was here back in December talking about the first Cybertruck. And it basically is the same rules, right? So once you stake $30 or more, you'd be entered to win the Cybertruck. And so we are tied and we decided that, hey, there's one of the biggest, if not the biggest concerts coming to the shores of Nassau, Bahamas would be the Vibes Cartel concert. So we jump on board with that. And so therefore the Cybertruck will be given away at that concert. So a separately pop-ups at our different stores, our various stores. So today we'll actually be popping up at Wolf Road, where the promotional team over at International Promotions would be joining us to have a special treat for persons who are interested in the concert. But I'll let Jade go into more detail with that.
Okay, Jade.
Yes, so of course, the biggest weekend is coming up, which is Feel the Vibes with Vibes Cartel, the world boss, finally reaching the Bahamas shores. And as Giselle's already mentioned, today we will be, along with Everybody Wins, we will be doing a very, very special for our guests and everybody who would like to attend. So we know tickets have been on sale for $150 for today between 12 and 6. Yes. On Wolf Road, you can get VIP tickets for $100.
Oh, wow.
And for those that would prefer all access, originally those tickets were $300. Today, you can get them for $250.
Wow.
Only today at this promotion.
Only today at this promotion. But and then a lot of cries has been coming out as well because we had sold out with skyboxes from weeks ago. And because of that, we've added an additional 4 more skyboxes and 4 more pods. So those who were interested in, you want to bring your crew and not just buy one ticket or 2, you can still do that as well.
What is a pod?
So a pod is a little bigger, a little less smaller than a skybox. It holds 8 persons, whereas a skybox holds up to 15. Or you can get a table, and table holds up to 4.
Oh, okay.
So there's lots of options.
Just to give you a visual, if you ever go to a concert and you see there's a skybox and then there's the next section in front of it, would just have the wood, that's the skyboard.
Okay, all right. And you can
you don't know. He's still I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So, all right, so skybox is normally, when you know a skybox.
Well, that's okay. It's going to be lost on me.
I'm just saying. But I need because if you don't understand, it means there's somebody out there that doesn't understand. So skyboxes normally have the tents and they're on the sides and they hold a lot. There's also normally a platform that's still above the crowd but lower than the skybox. Right, you call those sky pods.
Okay. So you got 8 of those.
Lost.
No. I got you now.
Don't worry about Chester. All right, so you have 8 of those available?
We have 4. We've added 4 more skyboxes and 4 more.
So
but the prices do vary depending on where exactly the skybox is located at the venue.
All right, and you can say what...
We can. So the skyboxes are 7,000, 8,000, and 10,000. And then you have the sky pods, which are, I think, 5, 6, and 7,000. And then tables are 1,500. Wow. But and the tables you get, like I said, 4 tickets, and you get a high shelf and a low shelf bottle. So 2 bottles with that.
And all the sky boxes had been sold?
They were sold out.
But there's a sky pod that costs the same as a sky box?
Again, it depends on where it's located.
Oh, where it's located?
Yes.
Okay. Got you.
So, and they were going for more than 7,000?
The sky pods? No, the highest is 7,000.
The sky boxes?
Sky boxes go up to 10.
And those were sold out?
Yes.
Wow. It's going to be a big
Okay.
Y'all realize we talking about vibes, right? If you and our generation, we grew up on vibes. A lot of us had kids on vibes. I gotta be real.
All right, so this is big.
No, I have no kids on vibes.
Which generation are you, Chester?
This is big stuff. All right, so this is only these discounted prices between 12 and 6
today on Wolf Road. Yes.
Where exactly? Let people know. So you're already part of the lines out there now, eh?
Yeah. So you know where the old city market was? By Wolf Road and Village Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're literally right opposite that. There's the gas station, and then there's the plaza right there. That's us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's big stuff.
That's funny you use that city market as a reference because
they've
been gone for years.
Young people don't
know. Young people don't know where that.
They don't know about that.
You know that broke down building on Village Road? Oh yeah. The one with the roof falling down. Yes, across the street from there.
The big empty parking lot.
Chang.
What?
No, yeah,
the elite.
let's not try that one.
Elite,
they're
little,
right across from
yeah.
Remember where Village Lanes was? No.
You've lost them.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what he's talking about, right?
No,
I do.
No, I don't.
I do. And I want to show my age in there.
All right. So if you missed today, where can you get tickets, and what are those prices looking at?
So tickets can also be bought at Joey's at Arawak Key and Island Spice.
No online.
They were online.
Oh, they're
still
online.
online? Yeah. That's okay. So they're still online.
Yeah, but then we may just very well be having the next pop-up sale at our Fox Hill on Saturday. So
You may.
Yeah, we may. So I would encourage everybody to stay tuned to our social media page to see what's popping.
So just okay.
Yeah.
Don't just come around on Saturday and be like, where y'all at?
Well, we're going to be at our Fox Hill location.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So the truck is going to be to these places
Correct.
too.
Yeah. So definitely, even if you just a glimpse, take a picture of the truck, you could definitely come on down because we will have the truck out there. What time is the truck? Probably out there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get back to the concert in a bit, but let people know about the Cybertruck. Give us some features about it, and especially the one that you're giving away.
All right. So in the Christmas we gave away a Cybertruck, all right, and that was actually like I don't want to say basic because of course all two of them are just beautiful whatever they are, cars, right? But this one that we're giving away, it has more bells and whistle, right? So it has the rims itself cost more. They're like $1,000 just to change one tire on that truck, right? And it has more features to it, whereas there are more games. A lot of people just think it's just a regular car, but it's not. So you could definitely play games on it. You could have a date night. It'd have karaoke. It's a lot of different features to the car. The car goes up and the car goes down. So depending on your style of driving, you can definitely do that with the car. I know a lot of the comment, how much is this for this car? So this car could actually sell for up to $300,000.
Because this has all those special features.
Right. Wow. So there's a lot of things surrounding the car, but I guess just to hear about it wouldn't be suffice. So I definitely encourage you to come on down to touch, feel, see, so you'd have a better appreciation of it.
I need you to point out the person who thinks the Cybertruck is just a regular car.
Some people will possibly be like, that's just a regular car.
No, nobody in there right
Then they ain't living on planet Earth.
You know what? And then I've had some very weird questions like, can the Cybertruck fly? Yes, it can. That's what I tell people. Yes, it can.
But yet it's a regular car.
Yeah, is it a submarine?
It has sisters and cousins that fly and sometimes don't make it to space.
Watch. By next year, they'll have that feature. I promise.
Oh, Chester. Okay. So, again, let people know what they have to do if they want to be entered to win the Cybertruck.
So it's a $30 stake. If you're not familiar with stake, it's just spending. So if you play casino, it's just, putting $30 on your account and then clicking the button until you see zero. Or the straightforward way would be lottery. So just buying $30 worth of lotto numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you're not a customer now,
and that's fine because we have a lot of persons who are not customers, or let's even go further. We have a lot of persons who have never gambled,
right?
And because they just want to be a part, because they want to be a part of this beautiful promotion, and they want to get to see how lucky that they can be, they then come on down and we always encourage, well, if you don't know how to gamble, play your age or play your favorite number or what's not. It's just that simple. And I always tell people, if you don't want to gamble, then I can gamble for you. Just give me the money. I'll put your name and number. So you win my sense.
So just one $30 stake gets you entered?
Yes. So every $30 that you stake would get you
There's multiple
yes.
entries. Okay.
So there's no limit to how many times that you can participate.
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody can't win, though.
Everybody can't win, but everybody wins.
I like that.
We got a text here. I think this is from Elon Musk. Please stop calling this a car. It's a truck. It's a truck. It's a truck.
Well, yeah, it is a truck. It is a truck.
Well, doesn't look like a truck, but it's a very
and the thing is, it doesn't look
design.
like the truck because most of the time you would see that what makes it a truck part
He
is
set
covered.
you up, you didn't have to.
No, that's fine. That's fine because that is actually one of another common question.
Really?
Like, this don't look like a truck. So then I'd be like, give me 1 minute, and then I put the hood up.
They need to see the bed.
Yeah. And then you can actually appreciate that it's a truck, and it's a very spacious truck at that.
Yeah. Wow.
People who think it's a car, Elon is taking people to Mars at some point. You want to go.
Hey, car is the word for vehicle these days.
Yeah.
So that's universal.
You see a bus, that's a car. Yeah.
Well,
that was a bit of a stretch.
Almost. All right, so Jade, you got to tell us what we can expect at this big concert because it's not just vibes.
No. So it's not just vibes. But let me just start with the fact that, like I said, this is going to be a very, very big weekend. We're having the welcome party that will be in Pompey Square. Feel the vibes with some Nassau's hottest DJs, of course. And then you have the major concert. The welcome party is the 28th. Let's get dates in so we know this is next week, guys. Get your tickets.
Only days away.
So that's the 28th. And then we have the big concert where Vibes did say he was bringing some friends, and one of those friends was named, and that is Spice. And if y'all know the Vibes and Spice Connect, the songs that they've created over the years, listen, that's going to be just pure magic on stage. And I think that's something that we're getting at a very, very good price compared to prices that's been mentioned around the world, first off. And then Sunday would be the beach party, which will be at Breezes.
Beach party too?
Yes, the Fever Beach Party. That starts at 2:00 and it goes in. And it's a full weekend. A full weekend you get to experience what just like a great legend that's coming to the Bahamas gets to do, the fact that he's back on stage.
Yeah. So let me ask you, so VIP tickets, all access, are they going to include all the events or is that just for the concert?
That's just for the concert. So everything else will be separate. $20 for the welcome party.
Okay.
And then the beach party will have a different price as well. So again, it just depends on what you want to do. Everybody doesn't always want to party all weekend. Some of us are old, We only could give you about a day or two, and that's it. So you can pick one or the other. But the concert itself is where you need to be, where you want to be. Because when you miss it, you're going to hear everybody be like, mother sick, you miss a big, big thing.
All right, so I got to ask you, people are saying, like, these vibes coming on 4 a.m. What do people need to know about this?
Nah, okay, so we ain't doing that. We ain't doing the 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. We have a very strict schedule happening that night. We have Julian Believe and Wendy also performing. Some of Nassau's biggest DJs. Vibes will be coming on you come out at 4 a.m., you gonna miss him.
Oh boy.
You want to hear Jade say some of us are old? I'm not sure who she's talking about. She didn't want
I ain't calling no names. Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's not you.
It was all me.
Plus, you have another event on Sunday to go to.
Yeah,
so
you have
can't
another
be out
event.
all night long, right?
Yeah.
All right. So remind folks where to get the tickets from, and again, what's happening today. I mean, I expect the line is already queuing up.
I can tell you that.
So tickets are online at ticketflare.com. You could also go to Joey's in Arawaki or Island Spice to purchase tickets for those who like that physical ticket in their hands or want to speak with somebody, before you start purchasing. Again, we've added skyboxes, we've added pods for everyone else that's been asking because you want to come with your crew and really feel the vibe. We've got that sorted. And again, today on Wolf Road with Everybody Wins Live, we will be offering special rates. So you can get your VIP ticket at $100 today, starting from 12. Only today, starting from 12 to 6. Or for those that want more, your all access ticket you can get for $250.
Which Wolf Road location again?
The Old City Market?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now they use that space to sell baskets and stuff now.
Right.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And when is the cutoff point for the truck? Or is there a time when...
The 28th.
The 28th.
Yeah. So the day before, yeah.
And you'll draw it at the concert.
Yes, we'll be drawing it at the concert. Yes.
Wow.
Do you have to be present at the concert?
No, you don't, but of course... We would want you to be.
Of course you want to be there. I mean, everybody wants to know who's going to win.
Yeah, and I think everybody not only going to be there for the Cybertruck, but are going to be there for Vibes. Yeah. So, well, how would it be, what a great...
When during the concert will the drawing be?
Not sure as yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you got to come and see.
Yeah.
Don't miss it.
Because then if I win it, I party in the concert from the back of the bed.
That sounds a good idea.
Of my truck.
Wow, Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
So
That'll
you
be the
gotta
best
park it
Sky
up
pod.
and then
That's right.
Yeah,
No, y'all
yeah.
need to have it right in front of the stage.
yeah,
for
that's
when
where
I
it's
win.
gonna be.
Can I win if I answer?
No, you cannot.
All right.
Not everybody, Jade.
Not everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
This is going to be a big thing.
This is the
Thank you all.
weekend of the year.
Oh, man.
It's the weekend.
Great stuff.
With the best gift to give away
That
for
is
the year.
Christmas all over again.
Yeah, Christmas in March.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody else is doing this,
Yeah.
so we're
So,
very happy to be partnering
I mean,
with Everybody Wins.
After the Cybertruck, what's next? Like a boat?
Oh.
A boat's next? Maybe?
No,
That's a good
something
idea.
better.
Or a rocket?
Oh, you already know what's coming.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I
For-
know.
When is it?
A
For
trip
Christmas
to space,
again?
bro. A trip to space.
Y'all thinking too small.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh, well then.
Yeah,
All right.
we changing generational wealth around here.
What now?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but anyway, when I come back, we'll talk.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that, Giselle.
Uh-huh.
I'm very
Well,
excited.
now
This is for
now I'm
Christmas or
curious.
before?
No, he said next month.
Oh, I didn't even say that.
Oh, you said next.
But you gave it away now.
Yeah,
So
next.
I just said,
Next
what's
month?
next?
So I just want to let
Next
me just say
month.
this: every month we're gonna be doing something, right? So that's why you want to dial in with us. You definitely want to dial in with us and that's why I go by saying everybody wins, because just because you don't win this certain big gift, there's other things that you can win. Month is going to be something more like wow. So yes,
Okay.
I have a calendar of goodies. Just stay tuned.
I mean, from you say you're changing generational wealth.
Exactly. So that.
Leave your phone number with me.
All right, so that's a big development there. This is and you heard it here. You heard it here.
Yes.
Giselle Rowe, Everybody Wins, and Jade knows this is going to be again the weekend of the year, the party of the year, big stuff with Vibes Cartel and friends. Thank you both for being here this morning. Good luck to everybody. That's all everybody
And don't
does
forget
with.
to stake your $30.
Okay.
Yes, get into that.
We'll
time.
see you this weekend. Vibes.
Don't drool on them people car.
We're going to take a break for news and be back with business with Bristol Wines and Spirits. Stay with us.
No. Thank you, Jamie. We wake up this morning, turn up and smile out when we see it storming. Me vision say better days coming. Every day that me a pray. Me no see no job, nah, no free education where them did promise. None of them never give with nothing. It's like ghetto youth lost to the system. Every day that me a pray. No, big up the girl them we fight it and one and one. Where the man them no man no they home. Babylon have them in a jail. Big up the juvenile them in a the street where you say them have to make it and not touch the chrome. Them no one we fi claim our own, but Africa now.
Spring is in the air, and so are the rewards. The Water and Sewage Corporation wants to thank you for staying on top of your bills. When you pay your bill in full, you'll be entered for a chance to win one of 3 Easter baskets filled with exciting surprises. Pay in full before your due date. Complete the entry form, and you'll be entered to win. Visit our social media pages for details. Hop to it and win with the Water and Sewage Corporation. Hurry! Offer ends April 17th.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning, it feels like it's only the beginning of the month, right?
Yeah, we're having a great conversation so far already with Bristol Wines.
But it's already the third Wednesday
Yeah, it is, yeah.
of the month, and that means it's time for Bristol Wines and Spirits with us. We've got the whole crew with us, Kyle Stubbs, Tori Saunders, and Zena Williams.
The new Zena.
Good morning, everybody. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Always a pleasure to be here.
So we got a lot to talk about today, but firstly, we got to say a big congratulations to Tori.
W set.
Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication. People hating, say we changing, look, we made it. Yeah, we made it.
Tell everybody about it, Kyle.
You got his green
It's like first
Green
thing
belt
this morning, I
flush.
feel like I should have cognac and
We
something
need
in my
champagne
glass. But
for
yeah,
this.
champagne.
Yeah.
But this week, Monday, last week, Friday, Tori's level 3 certificate and pin arrived. And this week, Monday, Zena did a nice press release on Tori becoming the Bahamas' newest certified wine professional. We could see, if anybody could see on the camera, but in studio here, he has 3 nice pins.
Got his green belt.
Yeah, he got a green belt. So orange in terms of he has the basics. He knows grape varieties, can identify the basics in wine and how it is made. The blue speaks a little bit to a place, right? Understanding where grape varieties grow, different styles based on climatic contributions. And then the green belt says he can assess wine. That means put a glass in the front of him. He doesn't know what the bottle is. He should be able to deductively work his way through what it is that he sees, what it is that he smells, what it is that he tastes. Identify where that grape where that could be grown, and in a very, very technical way, try to evaluate a range in terms of when that wine was made, vintage-wise. And so with this green pin, through this program now, international, he is recognized as a wine professional. And then when he wants to put that CS on his chest, on his, business card, on his email signature, he just has one more red pin that he needs to go and get. But I think he's going to make his mind up to go and do that.
So Tori, how's it feel? How you feeling?
I feel great. I feel great.
Yeah.
Because all the hard work paid off.
Yeah.
You were super nervous after you
Yeah.
took your exams and stuff.
Because it's like, you've been studying for months, you've been tasting a lot of wine.
So much hard work.
Yeah. And people think it was so easy because, you just tasting wine all day. No, you won't know how long. You're staying up all night, studying, trying to be not so technical. And everyone trying to say, keep calm. When you go on this exam, just do it. And
that's amazing.
So he was one out
Great
of
stuff.
6
One out
in
of
his
6.
What one out of 6. But not just a pass, but a pass with merit.
Oh,
boy.
So,
what you nervous for?
what were you nervous for? But it just speaks to a couple of things. Bristol's focus and dedication to the wine industry, wine education, and more importantly, developing local talent. When we look at our counterparts inside the restaurants and the hotels, 99% of them are expats. And so this speaks to us developing a local professional grouping of wine professionals. And it just speaks to wine being here. Who knows how much longer I'll be sitting in the chair or fully dedicated to wine, but I could look to my right and say there's another Bahamian wine professional who can push us to the next level kind of thing. So,
So we import sommeliers specifically?
And we pay them handsomely inside the hotels.
Wow.
And we take care of their accommodations. And if they need to bring their kids, the kids' schooling. And so...
And they pay for their spouse.
And if they have a spouse. So, you think about it, you have Kana inside Bahama that sells some wines up to $10,000, $15,000. And, they make a lot of money on $15,000. Maybe 10,000 of that is pure profit on that one bottle.
Mm.
And so the folks who are responsible for selling them consistently, they paid handsomely. You think about it, the main wine restaurants who drive high volume or high priced wines are all around the casinos. So we bring it down $1 million customers.
Right.
And so you win a $1 million hand, it's nothing to sign off a $15,000 bottle on that $1 million hand you just won. You know what? We'll take 2 of those bottles.
My goodness.
And so the Psalms inside the hotels and the restaurants, they do a magnificent job, but they sell some serious wines and they're handsomely compensated for it. And I'm saying that just to say, is there any other Bahamian who's out there listening, or any service team member in any restaurant or any hotel? Tori is a testament to, hey, I'm not just here to be a waiter. I'm not a vendor. Let's change these words and these terminologies. Let's use the professional approach to things. A wine steward, a sommelier, a mixologist. Those are the things that we want to attain, and we'll get paid for them.
Wow.
Do they expect sommeliers to look like us? You don't have to answer that. I'm just asking.
The thing about us is we don't care what they expect us to look like. We're just going to do what we're going to do.
Absolutely. There you go. Absolutely.
And so even when they don't expect Somalis to look like us, we have opportunities to travel the world and show them that we're just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
I always remember my week in Burgundy, France, with 12 other wine professionals from around the world. Hong Kong, Morocco, Canada, Dominican Republic, and through a blind tasting of 11 wines, Kyle Stubbs came out second.
Mm-hmm.
So, who cares what they think a sommelier should look like?
Wow.
That's
wow.
right.
So that term can be used now, sommelier?
Yeah, we can call it.
Yes?
Yeah.
So we've got 2 sommeliers in the studio with us this morning. Look
indeed.
at that. Look at that. Wow. All right, Zena, you're
We're
next.
waiting for Zena to take the
you're
test. I don't know why she's slunging.
I don't know why she's slung because if you hear her, Zena really be listening and picking up on some things. It's almost like we could let her run wild on her own.
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Sure.
All right. So I've got to ask you about this. We've been talking about it quite a bit on the show, in the business hour, especially the tariffs, the tariff war. Donald Trump, the U.S. president, talking, I want to say nonsense, about 200% on champagne percent for the U.S., for European. Of course, it'll be European from France. But, I mean, is that going to impact us at all? Do you ship directly from France or?
We do, but through the U.S., so still not impacted yet. But we are watching. We just had a business review with a supplier yesterday, and our vice president and I were having a conversation. Not only just that, but the global slowdown in wine sales is more of a concern than the tariff game at the moment. Last year into this year, there were grapes and vines that just were left unattended to because the demand for the wine wasn't there. So there was no why spend money to produce this wine when that. So we lost a lot of grapes last year. And then on top of that, 200% champagne nonsense that the president is speaking of is we're expecting a continuation of 10 to 12% decrease in export of champagne.
Oh, boy.
So while we have to keep hopeful and, while our stock levels dictate that, we could still drink a lot of champagne at good prices, we are watching and seeing how things are shifting, and we will have to adjust and make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the good thing about the wine industry is champagne is a lux, right? It's an amenity. But we can get champagne-esque wine at less than half the price. So if they mark up 200% on champagne, then we can just do South African traditional method sparkling wines. Or we can do Spanish traditional method sparkling wines, Cava.
Mm-hmm.
Or next month we will bring in 2 new traditional sparkling wines that we have from Washington State, less than $25. So, it'll be plug and play, and how do we, somebody's going to suffer and somebody else is going to gain, but we are watching. For right now, no impact.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
Okay. I'm curious about the global slowdown. Things were trending up before that, right?
Yeah. So a couple of things. This younger generation just seems not to be serious about the alcohol beverage industry as some of us were. we are losing
In general? Overall?
Yeah, the
They're
generation
too busy in their phones? I don't know.
But they're just not into alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
So that's why we're seeing the rise of mocktails and the non-alcoholic segment. And then we're also losing our baby boomers who were serious about consumption and spending on good wine and good spirits.
It's a generational thing.
On that end, and then the world economy. Yeah.
Say it again, Tori?
More people are vaping and doing other stuff.
things.
Right.
Yeah. You're
Crazy. That's crazy.
wow. So, what do you do? What do you do with that? I mean, I guess more programs like this. And
More programs, and we just bring meaningful experiences to consumption. So if it does take a second thought or third thought to spend $50 on a bottle of wine, then you go through that thought process and you're okay with spending that. But it's just providing more dedicated, curated experiences where people get value for what it is that they spend, and providing these educational opportunities so people are comfortable with what they spend when they spend on something to drink.
But the other thing about stocks going down is prices often go up. Have you seen that happening yet?
Well, we've consistently seen some price increases from the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, just based on the bottleneck and the shipping concerns, inavailability of corks and glass. And so we've been seeing that increase.
Right.
One or two other factors impacted that.
Inavailability of glass?
Yeah. All of this happened to the pandemic. Yeah,
I haven't heard
and
of
then
the
the
glass
war.
thing.
Yeah, and then the war in Ukraine has impacted a lot of elements of wine, the wine industry. But
And spirits.
yeah, so hopefully, it's difficult to see when we'll see some stabilization, because the other big concern now is climate change. And so wineries and winemakers have to spend money to combat climate change. And some people are losing vineyard space because of climate change, and then some places where we never anticipated wine was being produced is being produced. So the beverage world is shifting. Since the pandemic to now, it's shifting, and I think we're still in the middle of a shift for another 5 years.
Wow. So, where do we go? Where do you go from here? What's next year looking like? And in 5 years from now, what are we expecting?
Well, for sure, we're seeing, so not just in champagne, but Lux level wines, we're seeing a decrease. So I guess people aren't comfortable with spending $85+ on a bottle of wine. So wineries are now finding unique ways of coming out with, second and third labels and second and third brands. So if we look at Caymus that everybody likes, people always drink the Napa Valley or the Caymus Special Selection. So then they came up with the 50th year last year, which slightly changed the juice that's in the bottle, and then they came up with Caymus California. So instead of it being Napa, which would be the equivalent to like a Lyford Key, real estate property wise, they move into, let's say, Sanders Beach area, where still nice, but not as pricey, kind of thing. So we've seen it all around. People aren't as specific as to the place where they're coming from. So no, this was not a pineapple from Gregory Town, Eleuthera. It's just, this is a pineapple from the Bahamas. So this is not wine from Napa Valley, this is wine from California. So the real estate that they can play with throughout the entire state allows them to lessen the price, as opposed to just being specific to high real estate places like Napa Valley, like Sonoma and so on. We just have to, that's why we need more songs, to tell more stories, to put more liquid to lips, so people understand, as we go through these changes in our liquid cash, our residual income isn't as much, that we're making informed decisions on our beverage choices that we can live with.
Right.
I mean, Tori mentioned spirits as a category, a decrease in
plastic
consumption.
Yeah, so we've seen, as a result of the pandemic, some, spirits that were in glass were now in plastic because of the unavailability of glass. And then we have some spirit products that we were out of for a few months based on logistics stuff. We've had some tequila that wasn't being produced for a little while during the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic. Even like the Patron coffee that's back in the market right now was out of the market for a few years. So all of these shifts would have taken place since the pandemic to now.
And to the rise of micro distilleries?
Most definitely.
In local places?
Absolutely. It only makes sense. So some, put the plans together, approach the SBDC, and let's develop a little bit more of a local industry. You know, Bahamas Botanicals, I think, is doing a good job to lead that conversation, but I'm sure there's some more folks who have some ideas in their mind on how we could distill or ferment local fruits and do some good things.
I'm curious. Putting something that used to be in glass in plastic, does that change it? What do you? What?
Anybody else?
Yeah, because our approach is a little different.
In the
Well,
Bahamas,
let's do both. Let's do
in the
both.
Bahamas, you change something, that's it. Oh no, that's off. This don't taste right. It's the same product, but hey, I can't get glass.
Well-
You either go months without having the product,
Yeah.
or I could put it in plastic.
You know, and we just have this thing that
They had
once
that-
it's changed, then we believe our friends of Asian descent had something to do with it, right? When in actuality is, no, we just want you, the consumer, to consistently have this product. So if glass is a problem, you know what, there is no problem. Plastic is available. So
Yeah.
we'll put this liquid in plastic and sell it.
Don't forget, we had that conversation about sodas and Vitamalt.
Oh, listen.
I'm just saying. See?
Hey, what I was gonna say, there are some products that taste. If it's in can versus bottle, it's a different taste.
So it
Nope.
I don't want to
No,
call it.
no,
You can't. No, so, see, no, she can all the way to fountain.
So
Fountain, nothing tastes the same.
it's not. It's a different sensation that we experience. Yeah, it's a different sensation that you're experiencing. It isn't.
I don't want to
So-
name the product, but if you drink the one in the glass bottle, it is not the same as the one in the can. And I think the canned one is actually better.
I had the glass
What
bottle.
you talking about?
I will write the name down. I don't want to call the name of the product, but it's available here. The one in the can is way better than the one in the bottle. But anyway,
Anyway,
Hold on.
we will talk off here.
Yeah,
We'll talk
we'll
off here. All right. But as you mentioned, we got to keep talking about the pairings. And
Yeah, most definitely.
So
So-
that it'll be a special experience.
Experiences
when
all
you
the way.
do-
So when you do grocery shopping on Saturday, you stop next door to the liquor store to get a bottle of wine, and you're intentional on how much you spend and what you're spending it on. That it goes with dinner on Sunday. That it can be a glass on Monday or Wednesday, and you get a little bit more longevity out of that. Taking those things into consideration. But we just have to be consistent in passing the message along. And this is for us to enjoy experiences, not for us to knock the edge off. Come on, because it was a rough week.
No.
Or the house ain't in order. We want you to come and buy wine because you want to enjoy experience. It was a rough week, but this is how I get over a rough week, not how I deal with a rough week. Or this is perfect for dinner. This is nice to sit at. Like Sunday passed. We had a supplier in from Saturday, just left this morning. And she's like, how do you get such gorgeous weather on a Sunday? She's from Argentina, right? Maybe 6 days of rain in the year. But she had a nice sunny day with a nice breeze, and she's like, I can't be in my hotel room. I had to sit on the beach. And like, what did you do on the beach? I did work. I was like, of course. She's like, but it didn't feel like work. So, it's just a matter of place and time, right? Product, experiences. And so we do our part in preserving our contribution to the wine industry.
Excellent. This texter wants to know, with the grapes that you talked about, that the grapes are just spoiling, basically. What happens with those? Do people sell them? Someone says they want to eat those grapes.
So again, they are, we would go in vineyards and eat those grapes, but those aren't grapes that you would go and buy bunches of to eat, right? And that's a different species of grapes. So if it is vinifera, it's a species that we use to make table wine. And if there's no demand for it, then because that species of grapes is only used in wine, and there's no demand for that wine, then that grape isn't good
sad.
to the market.
Yeah. Unfortunate stuff. All right, so there's been March is an exciting time, and we just missed this one. Hey, Riesling. They have a Riesling Day.
Yeah, they have a National Riesling Day on March 13th, and this is a very important grape in the world of wine. We refer to it as an aromatic grape. So whether it's sweet or dry, which we do get Rieslings in extremely sweet and extremely dry, the first thing that is going to be noticeable on all Rieslings is a very nice bouquet. Once you put your nose into it, it smells really, really nice, right? We're going to try is Hillock and Hobbs.
Flowery.
But there you go, right? Very floral. Paul Hobbs started a winery in 2013 in California, right? In terms of making exceptionally well wine, representative of a place. So I was just speaking about how Caymus started off very specific in Napa, and now we have California where they're partnering with other vine growers to make that wine. Paul Hobbs is very specific to these grapes or this wine is only coming from one particular region, and he has reason to it. Whether it's the grape variety that thrives in particular soil types or grape variety that thrives in particular climatic conditions. So even though they're based in California, this particular Riesling comes to us from Seneca Lake in the Finger Lake region of New York State. So we're on the East Coast, where it is not slightly, but much cooler than we get in some spots in California. And then we have what they call sift or shift-like soil in this region, which is very, very similar to soil in Germany, which is known to grow Riesling. So this particular project or this wine is them being that much more specific on a grape growing where it should grow, and them identifying the very similar conditions in Germany inside the US, and for them, that came up at Finger Lakes. This is my first time tasting this wine.
Yeah?
My colleague Griselle represents this wine, and she always brags about how elegant and clean it is. It belongs to Paul Hobbs, so I just know it should be an outstanding wine. So let's see.
Okay, it's very interesting. It's sweet and dry. Is that possible?
Yeah.
But it's not like overly sweet, so it's not
right.
But it is clean.
Pale.
Yeah, green pale for sure. Appleish. Like when you say sweet, you mean like ripe, but that's
Right, not overly
yeah,
sweet,
that's enjoyable. So this in our spectrum of Rieslings at Bristol's will be our second driest Riesling.
Really?
It's kind of dry.
Yeah. We have a Chateau Montelena, which is from Napa Valley, so which is really not condition conducive for Riesling. So that's just a general expression of Riesling grown in that particular area, and it's pretty much bone dry. This you can taste the residual sugar and the fruit character inside this. Then we have a next Riesling Eroica between Dr. Lucen in Germany and Chateau Saint Michel in Washington. That's probably middle of the road Riesling. Then we move into Chateau Saint Michel that we taste annually, semi-sweet, and then we move into Dr. Lucen dry. They call it dry, but it still has a considerable amount of residual sugar in it. And then we move into Dr. Lucen, the regular green bottle, which is our sweetest Riesling.
Yeah. Let's break it down a little more for people. For dry, what that specifically means when it applies to Riesling.
So there's a couple of things when it comes to Riesling. So dry, when we talk about dry in wine sense, it's the natural sugar that's left in it. And this natural sugar could be left from a couple of things. One, the winemaker intentionally stopping the winemaking process before the yeast breaks down all of that sugar. Two, we're using aromatic grapes like Riesling that has a higher level of sugar in it. So even full fermentation leaves us with residual sugar in the back end. And then in the vineyard, the winemaker or the vineyard manager can do a couple of things to preserve a higher level of sweetness. One is to leave it on the vine a couple of extra weeks. We call it late harvest Rieslings, right? So it's just like instead of picking sea grapes today, we pick it 2 days later. And it's almost getting too ripe, but it's really ripe and juicy. So you get extra sugar content, extra fruit content. Or we can carry it and be a little bit more extreme and wait until January, and we say between the 5th and the 15th of January, we have 10 days of minus 14 degrees, and so we freeze the grape. And we start the winemaking process from frozen grapes. And we always have this conversation, I think, once a year. It's the same thing as you make a pitcher of Kool-Aid. You pour it in a cup of ice and you drink it, or you pour it in a cup and you put it in the freezer. We get the frozen cup is sweeter just because we concentrated all the sugars in it. It's the same thing in the grape. So we will do that. And we will start the winemaking process there. So obviously we lost some water We lost some fruit along the way, so now we're also looking at higher priced Rieslings when we get into the ice wine. The other thing, I think that's everything on
So that basically means less is going to be less sweet.
Yeah.
If you see dry.
If you see dry, it's going to be less sweet. Right.
I hope I'm not bastardizing this thing, right, that we call. But to me, this hits me as like an enjoyable champagne without the bubbles. If a champagne that I really like was flat, it tastes like that.
Yeah. And
I don't know if that makes
That's
sense.
because the acidity is high.
In this.
Yeah.
That's what you picking.
Right. So
that's
it
the only
is.
reason you would
Yeah.
compare it.
Right. Yeah. It
Yeah.
would be just missing the carbonization.
Yeah, it's enjoyable on that
on that
taste
little profile
platform.
level. Yeah.
So you explained it before, but somebody's asking, why do they call Riesling ice wines? What are they called?
No, they don't. No, so
that's
Riesling
something
is the
different.
grape variety. Ice wine is the category of wines, and that's the same thing I just talked about. That's us starting the wine production from frozen grapes, and we need at least 10 to 14 days of a particular temperature. So we know we're talking about rock solid ice that we're starting the winemaking process from.
Oh, ice wines are typically Riesling grapes?
Typically.
Oh, right, okay.
But our Canadian friends don't really grow Riesling to the extent of other people, like Germany, who does ice wine with Riesling. So we have a couple of other grape varieties that the Canadians use for ice wine. And Canadians are top two when it comes to the ice wine conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they use a different species and a different grape, like things called Cival Blanc, and one or two others. But the Canadians are in the top two of ice wine conversations. Germany will make up the next one. Germany's grape for ice wine would be Riesling.
Does this behave like ice wine in the sense that like if the temperature is lower, I feel like the taste profile would be so much more different. Like ice wine seems like much more syrupy when it's at room temperature.
Absolutely, and then it's a little bit more crispness
Yeah.
to it. So we again the different impression of those thousands of molecules in that liquid, just showing us different expressions at different
Right.
temperatures.
And ice wine don't come in.
Yeah, the ice wine's
Definitely
at
not,
375 milliliters, and they're
For $375.
expensive.
All right, so if you're listening, this is the Hillock and Hobbs, right?
Hillock
And Zena, what are we looking at in terms of price here?
This bottle is $60.95. 60.
Oh,
Decimal point
Okay, well, this is-
95.
oh, wow.
Okay.
That
It tastes like
was-
it. I mean, to be honest. Like I said, it tastes like a champagne, but without the bubbles.
I mean, you know, seriously, you taste this on the side of any of our other Rieslings, you say, okay, now I understand. I can taste a little bit in price difference kind of thing. I mean, and it's carrying some heavy names. Not that Chateau Ste. Michelle isn't a heavy name, but Hillock and Hobbs or Paul Hobbs is a well-known name in the wine industry, coming out of California for producing extremely good wines.
I don't know if we talked about this before. I don't know the growing cycle of grapes, but do grapes end up going through 4 seasons? So like New York has 4 seasons. I mean, distinct seasons. I don't know if Germany does. But does
They go through the season, so spring, bud, and all of that kind of things, and into the summer where they're watching the difference between climates and moisture, and then we go into fall. And right before fall is when we start to harvest. We go to the winter when things are in hibernation and they're pruning trees to make sure they're prepared for spring bud, and then we go through the cycle again.
And
So it's
having
crazy.
extreme-
Yeah. So of course, in New York, like they do inside Champagne and Burgundy, they will be combating those extreme temperatures. So if you're not making ice wines, then you're putting buckets of flames in your vineyards to make sure that your grapes are not freezing. You're fighting, hail and frost. You're managing insects and all of that kind of good stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. So, will the region be contributing to the price as well? Because this is New York.
Yeah, so a couple of things. Well, not so much the region, but the fact that the region speaks to climatic conditions, soil conditions, and everything that makes sense for a good winemaker to come in and produce exceptional wine. So, let's just say Florida had the climatic conditions for this. It'll be the same price if right soil, right climatic conditions, a good winemaker comes in kind of thing. So no, it's not just $60 because it's from New York.
Okay. All right. But you got Rieslings for a whole lot less. as
Most
well.
definitely. Is from Washington State is our favorite. It's probably the number one performing Riesling in our market. to the extent that sometimes we have difficulties keeping it in stock. But this year, we're just going to bulk up the stock.
Yeah.
And hopefully, no tariffs impact this one.
Which one is that?
This is Chateau Saint Michel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
A good one. We didn't know this one. And we could get this out the way right now. Zena, how much is this one? I think I can tell you the price.
I did see your name as a customer
What?
on a couple of our wines, which is good. Which means we're not just talking it, but we're experiencing it. How much? 2045.
So there's a big difference from the other one there.
So just outside of the Riesling, Chateau Saint Michel is the oldest winery inside Washington State. And we're talking 1954. So still a baby in the wine world. But they're big on the heritage of, being the oldest, but also being in touch with innovation in 2025. And innovation in the wine world could be very small. It could be the fact that they're temperature controlling their fermentation at different temperatures for different grape varieties. That's new, right? Or the fact that they are using particular strains of yeast that contribute different sensations to different grape varieties. That's new, right? And now everybody is on the sustainable approach to farming grapes. And so we're minimizing any kind of waste. So during the fall season, all of our good stuff that's falling off of the trees is reused and regenerated for auction. A lot more we see animals in spring and summer roaming vineyards and depositing what they need to deposit to contribute to fertilization. Minimizing our wastage of water, right? And so grapes grow extremely well when they have to fight for the nutrients that they need. When we give them too much nutrients, then we end up with, a waterlogged grape or something of that sort.
Interesting.
And so, controlling the
stone babies kind of thing.
Yeah. So controlling the amount of water that gets to the vine at what time of the growing season that we do it is new. So when we talk about new and innovative things, it can be those small little things that's contributing to the style that they have and the consistency that they're getting.
I don't know if this is a thing, but the Hobbs, Hillick and Hobbs had a big bouquet, but it wasn't as sweet. This doesn't have a big bouquet, but it's sweet.
So again, what Hillick and Hobbs I think would represent between these two wines is a little bit more unison of all of the elements of wine. So because we get a little bit more sweetness in this, right, then we lose some other elements in this particular wine.
Okay.
Whereas in the next wine, the elegance, the sweetness, the fruit character, the acid, they were all there, but none was really dominating the other.
Right.
The sugar is dominating in this on the palate, and so the aroma is a little muted on the nose. Yeah.
It's paler, not as
It is, yeah.
fragrant.
It almost looks like water in the cup.
But definitely much sweeter.
I mean, just the difference between these two, Hillick and Hobbs would be our good seafood wine, right? And this Chateau Saint Michel would be something, you bring something to the table with a little bit of spice and you don't want it to take over your palate. You bring a little bit of Chateau Saint Michel. You can hang out, like pound for pound with a nice guava duff. The Chateau Saint Michel is pretty good on the side of it. It's good with our conch salads and tropical salads and ceviches with a little bit of spice to it. But yeah, straight up seafood would be Hillick and Hobbs, salmons, snappers, groupers, not too heavy sauces because you want the wine really to still be able to express itself. And then it's on the Chateau Saint Michel spicy foods, salads with some spice components, ceviches and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can drink that pretty quickly there.
Yeah. That's both of these could be a problem.
Yeah, very problematic. Oh boy. All right, so good stuff, and again, prices to suit every budget.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's what we like for Riesling, because even with Hillick and Hobbs, this is still not our most expensive Riesling. We have the Chateau Montalino, which is a recognizable house in California, at about $10, $15 more than the Hillick.
Okay. Wow. Great stuff. All right. So that was Riesling. You celebrated all month, just on the 13th, right?
No, the 13th is that day, right? We celebrate it all month, especially when we have Chateau Saint Michel in stock. We celebrate that. But you can stop into any of the Bristol stores for Chateau Saint Michel. For Hillick and Hobb, you'll have to pop into our Blake Road store or Premier Crew. That's just a little special item.
St. Michelle, tough to keep in stock.
Not tough to keep in stock, but it's, every time we think we have enough stock, somebody's
proves
buying
you
it by
wrong.
cases. Yeah, somebody's buying it by cases.
Case, but it's good. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
It is.
All right, so you've got a whole lot of events going on as always, right? What's
Riesling.
As Zena gets her thoughts together, I know the last Friday in this month. That's next week Friday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Time is going.
Next week Friday. So I know we leave the previous guests and their conversation out. But on Friday we have a wine happy hour next Friday, right? And so this is the beginning of our wine programming for 2025. Firstly, we want to apologize that we're just getting started in April, but we went through some internal changes, changing the way we work a little bit, and mindful of our budget, seeing that March is the end of the fiscal year. So that also means that this is technically our last show, but that conversation happens after the show about next year.
What now?
And so we spent the first quarter of the year in planning mode. And now we're ready to run wild. So I'm going to do Thursday. We are scheduled to have a dinner at Wild Time. So just a backstory on this. Chef Devon from Wild Time and I share the same birthday, which was just last week, that March 11th. And we wanted to give to our consumers and customers a good dining experience at Wild Time. So $225 gives you a 5-course meal. Starting off with the sparkling that we have here, Segura, Cava and Cava Rosé. And then it's featuring treasury wines. So a little bit of Bristol's approaches here is how do we bring our luxe wines to the everyday consumer? So the brands will spend a little bit for people like us, Chester, who won't spend $100 on a bottle to enjoy a $100 bottle. And so that dinner will have Frank Family Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon, as well as Etude Pinot Noir. All of those wines retail for more than $100. So at $225, inclusive of tax and for VAT, Wild Time doesn't make any money and Bristol doesn't make any money. It is Chef Devon and Kyle providing a really nice dining experience. So that's next week Thursday. And then next week Friday, Tori and I and Zeno.
Before you go on, you get still room for this one?
Yeah.
How do you get
Zeno.Williams at Bristol.ps. Z Williams, sorry.
Oh, Z Williams.
At Bristol. At Bristol.ps.
Okay.
And then Friday we'll all be hanging out inside Crew on the hill between 6 and 9, pouring some new and old favorite wines and just enjoying a good old happy hour. Our friends at Versailles will be open, so you can join them for a bite to eat, flatbreads, chicken wings, pastas, steaks, burgers. Am I missing anything? Salads. They got you covered. And we'll have some charcuterie on the inside. And this will be our approach every last Friday for the year. So you'll see it on social media. It'll be inside the store, charcuterie, light entertainment, and then, of course, our food vendor on the outside. That's all I got.
How much for that one?
That one is just $20. You can have orders, you can taste 4 bottles, and we give you 20% discount on any of those wines that you purchase at night.
Nice.
And so next week, we'll actually be bringing out 2 new sparkling wines from Chateau St. Michel. A Brut and a Brut Rosé.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's 2 big things there. Any more, Zena, before?
It's not that much, but this weekend, Friday, is Fiesta Latina.
You get so excited about that.
Because the last time I talked about Fiesta Latina, they were like, what? You don't talk about wine, stuff like that. But Fiesta Latina is our Patron-sponsored event that happens once a quarter at Crew at Bristol, or Premier Crew, if you still want to call it that. It's going to be Patron cocktails, family stations, because people bring their kids. We have bunks and castles, stuff like that. There's going to be food vendors. And, of course, like I said, music and Patron is $5 for adults to get in. Kids are free. It's a cash-only event so that you can support all of the vendors that are going to be showing their local wares. You get different type of food like Cuban, Peruvian, Dominican. Wow. It's a lot of stuff out there. So that's going to be this Friday. We start at 5 or 6, and it just goes until the last man standing, pretty much.
Y'all don't have that bike with the blender on it.
Bit at
It's at the cruise port.
port, yeah. Mhm. We have it at the cruise port, but
That's y'all. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be Patron cocktails. Usually we do either margaritas or palomas, so it's gonna be a good time.
Cool.
All Coronas.
All right, and you have a good turnout for this.
It's usually a lot of fun.
You can't drive on Astor Road.
It's usually a lot of fun. And then we also are going to be at Privilege Pool this Saturday for a spring break foam party. I think that's going to be with Grey Goose. And that's it.
Okay.
That's
Some of
it
us
for
aren't
today.
that privileged.
Good stuff.
I'm with you, Chester. And so we've been getting a lot of requests on education. I just want to put it in case anybody's listening. So we've had a partner, the Wang School 3 in the Cayman Islands, who we partnered with, and that's who Tori took his WSET 1, 2, and 3 with. No longer registered to offer that program. And so we've given solutions, and we're working on both of them right now. So the Wang Academy in South Florida, who our colleague Grizel took her Saki certification with.
Okay.
We reached out to them just yesterday morning, and before lunchtime, they responded. And so we have a nice call with them tomorrow, and by the time we get back on the radio, we will be able to say dates and times for the next round of Bahamian wine professionals.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Okay.
great.
That's number one. And then number two is we are putting together a curriculum to approach the National Accreditation Agency from the Ministry of Education for Bristol to do some programming that kind of substitutes WSET 1 and 2. So we can do the local stuff here, and anybody who is ready to go and get their level 3 or level 4 will pass them on to the Wang Academy inside South Florida. So all of those things are going to be on stream, probably the second, for sure, by the third week of April when we come back to radio.
So
We'll
that's
able
going to be
announce
like pre-college courses kind of thing.
Yeah, well,
different.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Wine University.
Wine
But it's gonna be
University.
Beverage University because
Yeah.
I mean in our cadre we have Kenneth who operates Versailles, who is a top mixologist. Our good partner Derek, who is a beverage manager at British Columbia. So we have to make it a full on.
Yeah.
But that's the way the industry is going.
And
you
for
know.
a tourist destination, it's about time,
Yeah,
right?
I think it
Yeah.
is. You know.
Yeah.
I can see us having tour bus stop at Premier Crew to have wine tasting experiences because the international community knows that you don't have to just be in wine country to have wine experiences.
Right.
And a lot of time when we do come across a tourist or somebody who is a guest of a local and they come to a tasting experiences, I just didn't know I could get this in the Bahamas.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is very exciting. Looking forward to what news you'll have for us next month. Great stuff. Kyle Stubbs, again, happy belated birthday. Zena Williams, good seeing you as always. And Tori Saunders, congratulations again,
Yep.
Somalia.
Congratulations.
Tori Saunders. Good, wonderful stuff, folks. Be sure to pick up today's NASA Guardian, folks. You've got the Guardian Business section. And this portion of the show brought to you in part by Seafowl, growing wealth for future generations. We're back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Chester Robards, thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
See you next week. I'll be back
sir.
tomorrow morning. Stay with us for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Since I was young, they said I won't be nothing. Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication. People hating, say we changing, look, we made it. Yeah, we made it. I was patient, yeah. Oh, I was patient.
At Seafowl, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With Seafowl, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted Seafowl to create the right pension plan and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at seafowl.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. Seafowl, growing wealth for future generations.
Pinder is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. Comes in 4 colors, tones, and shades. There's Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Green. Sky gray, as you'd imagine, gives you a smoky kind of feel. It's not heavy and depressing, but gives the area a chill feeling. The Sky series comes in two formats, 24 by 24 at $5.30 a square foot, 12 by 24 at $5.25 a square foot. I really like this series for big spaces, and being porcelain, they can take a lot of traffic. The Sky series at Pindu Tile.
Nassau Tile is celebrating 95 years in business by giving you 20% off store-wide. Catch the sale on all tiles and more. Save up to 30% off select wall tiles and 30% off ceramic and select mosaic and backsplash tiles. Our experts will guide you in selecting the right tiles. Visit Nassau Tile on Doswell Street or call 322-2100. It's a reality. Don't miss the marvelous March anniversary sale from March 24th to 29th. Follow Nassau Tile on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
Hola, República Dominicana. Send 3 money transfers using GK Money and you'll be automatically entered to win a trip for 2 to Punta Cana. Prize includes airfare, transportation, and 3 nights at an all-inclusive resort. Follow us on social at GKMSBAH for more info. Hola, República Dominicana. Send today with the Grace Canadian Money Services and Western Union. Promotion ends March 31, 2025.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in